We continue on our journey with Brizy, and welcome to Learn Brizy Page Builder Level 2. Now, in the previous tutorial series, we've put together a lot of blocks. And that is what page building is all about. It's about blocks, it's about sections, and it's about putting elements inside those sections. In Level 2, we are going to continue using the free Brizy Page Builder. But now we are taking it to the next step by bringing all those blocks together and putting it into a cohesive website. What I have here in front of me is what we refer to as a one-page website. Now, it sounds strange because when you think in terms of a website, you think in terms of many pages. People click around, go to many links, and they go all over the place. But the one-page website, let me show you again all the way from the top to the bottom, is literally just one page. You can go nowhere else on this site. You can scroll from the top to the bottom. You can click here at the bottom on this little icon and arrow, and it will take you to the top. Up here you have these links, but these links link to different blocks. So remember, in Brizy we have a block. So this is a block explaining services. If you click up here on services, it takes you to that block. Same for About Us. Takes you to the block where we talk about this company. And then, of course, you can go through it, and the Contact Us takes you all the way to the bottom where you find the form. Then, like I said, click here and it takes you to the top. Let's talk about the first question. Why a one-pager? There are two reasons. Often you don't have a massive concern. You don't have a big enterprise, and it's not that necessary for you to throw all that information on it. It's better to keep it in one place, as concise as possible. I think in terms of small shops or fan bands or things like that. The other reason why it has also become more popular is you have to think in terms of people who use a cell phone. Have you ever used your cell phone and then you have to click around from one page to the next, and then you want to go back to the previous page and you're not entirely sure how to go back? That is one of the benefits of a one-pager. You can simply just swipe with your thumb on the screen or whatever finger you use, and then you scroll through it from the top to the bottom and you get everything you need. Some sites go a bit overboard. There are sites out there that it's miles and miles and miles of a one-pager, really. You'll find them out there. But again, the benefit of the one-pager is that's especially helpful on something like a cell phone. The reason I like to use it is because less is more. And if you don't have a lot to say, no need to go and make many pages. So on a traditional website, you will have these links up here. And as you click on them, it will take you to additional pages. But for the one-pager, we will have these links up here. And like I showed you, if you click on this one, it will take you to a block on that page. Let's ask this question. What on this page that I've made was made with Brizy? And everything from this line here all the way to the bottom was made with Brizy and the free Brizy. The reason for that being that Brizy is, in fact, a page builder. And all the content on a web page, from the bottom to up here, is the page. This part that you see up here is not the page. This is referred to as a header. And often on websites, you will also find something like this at the bottom of the page, which we call a footer. This looks like a footer, but it's actually included on the page. So the difference between these various sections is that everything that is done on the page is part of Brizy, aka the page builder. The other parts are done here, and that is done with WordPress coupled with a theme, and we'll talk about themes very soon. There's a few more things that are done within WordPress and the theme. If you look up here, you see this little small icon, same as the logo here for this company. That is called a site logo or a favicon, and it's also inserted within the theme or WordPress. Also, see here, we've got a site title, Apollo Consultants, Management, and this again is all done in the theme. So page contents, everything from here to the bottom, the text, the photos, the layout, the colors, this is done with Brizy. But everything in your header, this menu, your logo within the header, your favicon, site title, this is all done with WordPress and the theme. Now you have an idea of what we're going to be creating in these tutorials for level 2. I am inside WordPress and you are probably a little bit familiar now with the dashboard. To practice along with level 2, you can either have your own domain on a host or you can practice on a local host that is for free. That means for this tutorial, you can use a free local host. You're going to use the free version of Brizy, and we're going to use a free theme. So everything can be practiced for free here with level 2. Because I always prepare my work beforehand, my media and my layout is planned on a piece of paper or on a mock-up. I go and I collect all my images, I resize them, I put them in the correct aspect ratio, and I get them the way I want them to look. All of this is media, and it can be uploaded in one go into my media folder. Let me minimize this. I go to media, and I can click on library. Currently, the library is closed. There's no media files found here. And you can click up here on add new. You don't have to do that. WordPress allows you to drag and drop images directly onto this page, and it will load into the media library. You can click on add new, and then you do that, or you can just drag and drop them directly here. Let's do that. I bring up my Explorer. You will bring up your Finder in Mac. I'm going to click on the first one and then shift click on the last one and then click and drag and drop. You will see the screen turns blue. That means you can now drop it. And as easy as that, the images load very swiftly into the media library. Now my images are ready. I don't have to worry about bringing them in again. I can even close this folder out. I'm done. The following steps that we will go into are very standard when creating a new site. Let's begin with the first one, and that is to create a page. We did that in the previous tutorials, but now we're going to create one page because our entire site only consists out of one page. Go over here to the sidebar and over pages, you can click on all pages. If you have just installed WordPress, these two annoying pages always pop up with a default install of WordPress. They are harmless, but I don't like them there. They are annoying. Before I'm going to add my home page, I'm going to delete these two and get them gone. Up here, if I click on the checkbox, it will also highlight them. And now I can apply a bulk action. You see up here, it says bulk actions. Click on the drop down and choose move to trash and apply. They are not completely deleted. They've been moved into your trash folder. And if you are pretty sure, like I am, that I want them gone, you can even go the extra step to click now here on trash. And there you see the 2R and then empty trash. Now they are gone. There is no coming back from that. We will create our new page now. Up here you can click add new, or in the sidebar you can click add new. You get the welcome pop-up over here that we close out. Different from the previous tutorials is that you see we don't see anything to edit with Brizy here. The reason for that is I have not installed Brizy yet. This is just pure WordPress as it comes out of the box. I'm going to create my page first, click here on add title, and we're going to call it home. Now this is very important to understand the following. We are calling this page home, but to WordPress, these are just 4 letters, H-O-M-E. WordPress has no understanding of this page, that it is your home page. I'll show you now what I mean by that. Click on publish and publish again. And now you can go and view the page here after you have published it twice. If you click on view page, it takes you to the front end. It's still ugly, but we're going to make it look very sparkly in a few tutorials. If you go to the title up here that says Learn Brizy, on your site it may say something different, and you click on it, it will take you to what WordPress considers the home page. If I click on it, you see it changes. It goes to this page that now says Hello World. What's going on here? What we face with WordPress is that WordPress by default assigns this standard page as the page that will display when people go to your site. WordPress has no idea that you have just created a page and that you want that page, which you called by coincidence home, to be the home page. And you have to go and tell WordPress that that page, that page I just created, that is the page that I want to display when people come to my site. To do that, we go back to WordPress. So you hover over the name up here and then dashboard. Let me just show you again where that page is. If we click on pages, you will see there is the page you called home. Now to make sure that this page is the default page that displays every time when people visit your site, they type in the domain, the address, and then ta-da, this page will come up. You have to go to settings, reading, click on that. And then you see here it says your home page displays. Currently, it displays your latest posts. We are going to select this one, a static page. And then for the home page, we're going to select this page. And this page is the one we had created. If you had created more pages, you will have a large selection down here. Then you can choose any of them. But because this is your first time, this is your only page, you select this. Put it on home, save your changes. Let's view our site again now to see if it has applied. Go up here to the name, click on Visit Site, and now you see it says Home. And if I click here again on this link, it stays basically on the site because this home page is now your home page. I know it sounds a little bit confusing, but the more we do it, the more you will get used to this setup within WordPress. The next thing I want to do is I want to create a menu. Remember, we had this header area up here, and then you could click on those links. To do that, we have to create a menu so that you can select where you want to go. We're going to create the menu now, and at the end of these tutorials, we will make changes to that menu to allow it to link to the different sections and the different blocks on the page. Go back to the dashboard, click on that, and then look for Appearance. And you will see the fly out menu here gives you the option to choose menus. Click on menus. Again, WordPress has no idea that you even want to have a menu or what should go into that menu. That's all up to you. So the first thing you need to do is to create a menu, a list, and you have to give it a name because sometimes, and many times, you can create more than one menu. Over here at menu name, you're going to type in the name for your menu. No one will see this, it's only a reference for you. I usually call this when I start my main menu. So main menu. And then click here on the right, create menu. A lot of things will pop up here now, but what we will do is we will add our home page as an option to our menu. So the menu is like a list, it's a to-do list, it's a checklist, but it's empty at this moment. So I'm going to give it one thing to check, and that is this page over here. You will see it says Pages and then under it Home. Select it and then click Add to Menu and it pops here to the right. If you had more than one page, you will have more options down here. We only work with one page, so we can only add this one page at this moment. And before we save it, you have to assign this menu to a display location. You will see that sometimes these options here change. But the most standard is this one that is called primary. This is that top header that you saw at the very top of the page. That is where you usually will have a menu. I use the word usually a lot because there's so many variants, but we are going to stick to the norm, so we choose primary. It just tells WordPress, this menu has this link, and I want you to display this menu at this position on the page. Save it. And then we go and view our site now. Go to the site, visit site, and now you see here, there I have my header, there is my link, and there is the page I put there. Of course, at this moment, this doesn't make any sense. You only have one page, and if you click on it, it goes to that exact page. No one in their right mind wants to click on the same thing and return to the same position again and again. It's not some time warp that we are trapped in. What we will add, like I mentioned, is we will add various links, those 4 links that I showed you at the beginning, to different blocks on the page. And that we will do once we've set up those blocks, we've finished our page, then we come back to this menu, and then we will add those links to the menu. This is how WordPress displays our homepage at this moment. Now we are going to choose a theme. A theme is, well, think of your cell phone. It is a way to change how your cell phone display changes, how the apps, if they have round corners, if they have straight corners, if your background has a different corner, the font, how the fonts on your site look. And themes in WordPress is a very powerful thing. The free Brizy version should always go together with a good theme, and you get 3 themes. There is always a limitation on using a free theme. I want to go back to the dashboard, but I want to leave this page because I want you to see what happens to this page once we install the theme. To do that, I will go up here and I will hold Control on my keyboard, Command on a Mac, and click on Dashboard. By doing that, it will open a new tab in my browser and take me to that link. So here I am within my dashboard. I'm going to drag it here to the left so that this one can be on the right, moving between the two. This is the front and this is the back. Let's go and find a theme. There are many themes, and it's something that you have to do your own research on, play around with, and decide which one you want to use. Let's go first find the themes. You go to Appearance, and remember we had menus here earlier. At the very top is Themes. Click on Themes. With this, you see 3 themes. Now, WordPress normally releases a theme almost every year. They skipped 2018, but they had one from 2014, 2013, 2016, 2017. Like I said, 2018 they skipped, and then they released a new theme here called 2019. When you install WordPress, this theme is installed by default. And this theme applies this look to your home page. Right? So you get that. This theme applies this layout. So everything you see here, the color, the fonts, the size of the text, and how the header looks and the link, this is all decided by the theme. Let's go and add a new theme. You can click up here, Add New, and you can click here, Add New Theme. They both do exactly the same. Click on that, and WordPress is going to start loading a huge number of themes. Now, if you were like me many years ago, of course, you started going through all these themes and you installed them one by one and you played with them around one by one, and you get lost in that dark hole. Trust me, you don't want to do that. Go and do some little bit of research, play around. There are tens, hundreds and thousands of themes, and they can waste your time, and not all are good. For this tutorial, I'm going to use one of my favorite themes called Page Builder Framework. So here in the search area, search themes, I'm going to type Page Builder Framework. And then it will search for it and it will pop up here, Page Builder Framework. We are colorful. If you hover over it, you can look at it like this and it will load again here on the right and show you how this theme will display. Not much to see, but it shows you things like you can see the color is different color. You can see maybe the font is different and the size is different to the current one that we are using, which is that 2019 theme. Over here, the ratings, very good ratings, and the current version 2.0.5. I'm going to click on the X to go back to the theme dashboard. And from here, every time you install something in WordPress, there are 2 steps. Step number 1 is to install it. This is just to put it in WordPress. But it doesn't work yet. It's not activated yet. Let's do the first step. We install it. Click on Install. After installation, it will now give you the option to activate. It means that you've installed the theme within WordPress, but it is not active yet. Currently, your active theme is this one, 2019. If I were to click here on refresh, it will still show me this one. Let's go back to the themes, and now I will activate it. It says new theme activated, and whenever you see one of these splash notifications, you can leave them there or you can close them here on the right. Our page builder framework is now installed. If you hover over now 2019, you will see it's here, but it's not active. You can choose to activate it and you will hop between the two. We go to the front end, click on the tab up here, and I will refresh the page now. Remember, we've activated the page builder framework theme, which means our home page should look very different now when I refresh it. And that is indeed so. What we have now is a header with a site title and that link that we had created in our menu. Over here, we have the name of our page, and from this gray line to this gray line, this is the page. And under that is our footer. Now you have seen how changing a theme, what difference that can make to how things like your header can look. What's going to happen on your page is going to be decided by Brizy, because we're going to use the page builder for this area. But what will happen here at the top and the bottom is all dependent now on page builder framework theme. Currently, note also while we are here that there is no icon up here. It's that little page, empty page, and it's the site title that I gave this page at the very beginning. We want to change all of this as well, and that is also done with the page builder framework theme. Let's leave this page open so that every time we make a change, we can come back and we can see how that affects our page. Click back to our dashboard area, and now we are done with the themes. I also like to remove these guys just because I don't like things to be cluttered. You can click here on this theme, click, and then choose delete. This is a personal preference. If it doesn't annoy you or bother you like it does to me, you just leave them there. I will get rid of all of them and just leave my page builder framework over here. With this screen now open, showing our page builder framework, you will see the blue button here at the bottom that says Customize. You will also see in appearance the same button appear, Customize. If you go to the front end, you will also see Customize up here in the bar. All three of these take you to exactly the same place. They are just different links. You can click on this Customize, this one, or that one. This takes you into the theme customizer. Let's click on this Customize one over here, and then let's have a look at how this customizer looks. Generally, the layout of these customizers, regardless of the theme, are very similar. From one to the next, they appear the same. But trust me, the layout here in the sidebar on the left is very different from one theme to the next. They group things differently, they do things differently, and that is why some people prefer one theme over the other. Maybe at how they are grouped, maybe at the functions they provide, and just the general user experience. Because we found this within the WordPress repository, this theme called Page Builder Framework, it is free and you can use it, it's free. But there are a few things that you cannot do with the free version. And if you want that, you have to go premium, baby. And then you go to their site, and we will add a link in the description below for this Page Builder Pro version. At the end of this series, I will use the Pro version just to give you an idea the difference between free and Pro. But first we will build the entire site and get it all ready to work with the free versions. And at that point, I will just show you how Page Builder Framework Pro works. Let's begin to make changes to our site. Click on General and Layout. And here we're going to activate this function called Scroll to Top or Scroll Top. If I activate this, if you have a very, very long page, a small little block will appear here at the bottom that will give you the option to click on it, and it will scroll automatically all the way to the top. I'm going to activate it already, and all these settings, I'm going to leave it on their default settings. To go back to the different menus, you click on this left pointing arrow. None of the rest we will use in this tutorial. So we click one more time back to get to the main section of the customizer. We are not going to use block, but we will look at the typography. And remember, this typography or the font that we will use will only be applicable to the header and the footer, because on the page we will use the Brizy page builder and we will set that typography there. But to change this typography, click here. The only change we will make here is to the menu. We're only going to affect this font over here. Click on that and then we activate it. Under font family, you go choose Comforta. So you can grab the slider here, or you can type in Comforta with 2 A's and it will show you Comforta over here and you click on it. Once you click on it, you see the screen loads a little bit and the font over here will change a little bit. What I like about the theme, it also gives you the option to choose a variant, which is a different weight. You can choose it at thick at 700 or 300. I'm going to leave it at regular. Now you click back. And in other instances, we may play around a lot with these guys, but they are all done within the Brizy page builder, so we are not going to affect them here. Click back. And now we go and style our header. Click on header. Remember, the header is this block up here. And this part down here is the footer. We go to header and the first thing we will change is the logo. Click on the logo and then select logo. From this, I choose my media library and I choose my logo over here. This is the media that I brought in at the very beginning. Select it and then click on select. It's going to give you the option to crop it, but I don't want to do that. So I choose this option here, skip cropping. And my logo comes in very, very nicely. And that, my dear, is naturally way too big. Go to the logo width here and you can play around with the slider until you get to a width that suits you. I'm going to type in a few values in pixels and see which ones work for me. I'm going to start with 75. And the reason I started with 75 is because I knew that's exactly what I wanted. What you have to do next is look at responsiveness. Page Builder Framework theme gives you the option to look at how this logo should display on a tablet as well as phone. Let's click on the tablet value. I think that still looks good. And then on the phone, it's looking good. And it will change in responsiveness here on the right. What I want you to note is what happened to our menu over here. On desktop view, it gives us the link. On tablet view, it changes to these 3 little stripes, which we refer to as a hamburger menu. You know, if you eat a hamburger, you have the bun at the top and the bottom and a patty in the middle. And that's why we refer to as this hamburger. If you click on the hamburger, it will open a drop-down menu. And the same for the phone. This is just for our logo and I think it looks good, so we don't have to make any changes to the responsiveness. Now here, under typography, you get to change the site title. And this to me is very strange. Other themes will put it, you know, under something like general or site identity, but within the Page Builder framework, they put it within typography. So our site title currently up here, it says Learn Brizy Level 2, and I'm going to highlight it and change it to Apollo Consultants. The moment I change it here, you can see here, customize changes to Apollo Consultants, but nothing has changed over here. Let's go and have a look now quickly at the front end, because you know, you can see how we make these changes to the theme, how it will affect your front end. But for it to affect the front end, you need to publish it. You see this big blue button in your face the whole time. This is your save function. So click on publish. And then we click on this tab to go to the front end. And this is where we started after we had installed the theme. Now, if I refresh up here, it will apply these changes. First change is it brings in the logo. Second change, it changed the font to Comforta. And third change, it also changed the title up here to Apollo Consultants. Let's go back to the customizer. Under site title is a tagline. That's just something extra that you can write there. I will call that Management Specialist. I publish it, I go to the front end, I refresh it, and now you will see it will appear up there, Apollo Consultants, Management Specialists. Let's go back to our customizer. We're not done yet. There are still a few things I want to change. I want to change the color of this link in the menu in the header. Before we do that, scroll all the way to the bottom and you will see this option called Site Icon, often referred to also as a favicon, which is for favorite icon. Click on Select Site Icon, and then we choose the same logo that we had used here and select it. Crop image, because it has to be in a format of 1:1. Make sure it's exactly the way you want it to look. Click on Crop Image. And once you've done that, this will show you how this favicon will display on different devices. Again, it's not showing on your front end because you haven't published it and you haven't refreshed it. But once we do that, now our favicon is there, our site title and tagline is there, and the only thing left is we want to change this color. And then the second thing left is we are not going to use a footer for these tutorials. We go back into the customizer and now we are done with this. So we scroll to the top and we click back. Go down to mobile navigation. Remember mobile, I talked about the hamburger. We don't see it at this moment, but you can go here to the bottom and activate the responsiveness. You can click on this one for tablet or for the phone. And now we change the color. Go to icon color, click on it, and then double click here where the code is and type in the following code 952880. And you see the icon changed over here. Click back. Click back one more time. Let's go to footer. And we're going to choose none. Let's just put it back on desktop view first and observe what happens when I click on none. It takes my footer away. Let's publish it to save our work and click back. Well, and as it goes with themes, you're going to overlook things and skip things a lot. So you will probably be going back and forth until you get very familiar with the theme, and then you will know where to find all these things. And we have to still change the color of the menu. Click accent color, and here we will change the hover color. And the hover color relates to this color of the menu over here. Strange, but yes, it is. I say strange because I would think it's maybe like a link color or something like that. But anyway, they call it a hover color. Double click on it and type in this code 952880. And nicely, it changes to that color. Click back, and we are almost done. The last part is to remove the color of this header. You can see it's a little bit gray. I want it to be white. So by now you should know you go to header, navigation, background over here, choose white. And it's nice and white. Publish it, and now we are done. What have we done so far? We put in a logo. We changed the color here of the menu. We removed the background. We put in a favicon on up here, a site logo. And if we go to responsiveness, we change the color of the drop-down menu. There we go. It's looking good. And we had removed the footer. Let's click back, and after you have saved everything by clicking on published, to exit the customizer, you just click on the X for exit. We go to the front page and update it and see how it looks now. There we go. So it looks like everything is one, but you know by now that this header is a different part and it's not part of the page. It's separate. It's part of the theme. It's part of the site. That is usually done within the theme. And if you want to build a good looking website with the free Brizy Page Builder, then you will need also a good theme. Once you go pro, the options open up. And that is something we will touch on in the far, far future, because there are a lot of things that you can do once you go to pro, especially with upcoming releases. Now we can close this page. We're not going to care too much about this anymore, but it's very important. If we go to pages, all pages, remember we have this home page here. and we click on it, we don't have the option to begin building with Brizy. Why not? Because Brizy isn't installed yet. To do that, you have to go find it as a plugin. Go to the sidebar, hover over plugins, and select Add New. Over here in the search plugins, you type in Brizy. Brizy will appear over here. You click on Install Now. And just like before with the theme, first it will install Brizy, but it hasn't activated it yet. So you have to wait for it to finish the installation and then activate it. Click Activate. And check here in the sidebar what happens after activation. Now you have an option for Brizy over here, and within your plugins folder, Brizy, the plugin, appears. Over here, it gives you the version. This one is 1.0.81. And now you can begin to work with Brizy. Go back to Pages, All Pages, click on Home. And on this page, you will get the option now to edit with Brizy. Let's click on that, and this is how we go into Brizy. By default, Brizy gives you what they call the Brizy default template, which means that header that we just built in the Page Builder Framework theme is not displayed. If I click here on Update on this page here at the bottom now, even though there's nothing, and then I click here on Preview to go and preview it on the front end, you will see the following. Nothing, because the Brizy Page Builder override the theme settings. So what does that mean? Our header is gone? All that hard work jumping back and forth between the menus? All for nothing? No, there's a setting. So let's close this one here. And then in the Brizy Page Builder, you go here to the bottom left, and there where you see page, click on that. There's an option for page template, and you see currently it's on the Brizy template. This setting is very useful, especially in the Pro version, where you have the option of building your own header within the Pro. You can even do this in the free version, but I prefer to play with the theme and the free version. Click on the drop-down and you choose Default. This will now apply the default for the theme, and there is our header now. Now we have a problem, because now we have this, what we call a page title, which we definitely don't want. We want that thing to be gone. Let's first update our page. Here at the bottom, Control S or Command S. Then we have to go back to the page settings. To do that, go to this little menu down here. Now you know it's called a hamburger. Click on it and click on Back to WordPress. It will take us now back to this page. And here on the right, you will see this option called Template Settings. These are the options that the theme gives you. So the theme has various options that can be applied. Currently, we see the page title. Do we want the page title? No, we don't want the page title. So we go to this option that says Disable Elements, click on Page Title, and we disable the page title. The next setting we're also going to change here is this one under Layout. We're going to put it on Full Width. This will give us the option to use Brizy across the entire real estate of the page builder. And this you have to remember whenever you want to use the theme, like the theme's heading, you have to make these changes to make sure it displays properly within the page builder. Update your page up here now, and then you continue to edit with Brizy. So you click back here on this pink bar. Now when we go in there, you will see it has removed the page title. And because we put it on full width, if I were to bring in a container, it will stretch all the way from left to right. We are almost ready to begin building our page. Before we do that, go to the left sidebar, and up here, the third one that looks like a brush, if you hover over it, it says Styling. Click on that. This is something in level 1 we did not cover much. Styling is very powerful within Brizy, but it's even more powerful in the Pro version. We're working here with the free version, so a few things I want to show you. This is a default color palette that you can set the colors and then you can just apply them by default. You don't have to go and type in those codes again and again and again. So if we're going to use the same purple every time, we just change one of these, and then every time we change the text to that purple, we just select this swatch. We don't have to type the code in again and again. But there's a few things you have to understand about this color palette. There is a little bit of madness in here, and you need to understand how it works. Altogether, there are 8 swatches. 3 of these swatches have specific functions. The first swatch is this one over here, second from the right. This color will determine the default color of the text element you bring in. Let me show you. We're just going to play around now. Start building your page. I'm going to choose add a blank block. Let's open up here, add elements, and I drag in my text. That color your text currently has comes from this color over here. Click on it and then drag around the selector, and you will see how the color of your text is changing. Now it's pink. If you leave it on pink like that, next time you bring in a text element, click up here, add elements, text, and drag, it's going to be pink. If you click here and choose the color, you will see it selects this color swatch by default. This swatch is always linked to the text. It's very important you understand that, because if you go to styling and you start making changes up here, you're going to affect every text element on your page. That is why it is very important you understand this. So what does this mean? This means that you can set your text color by default the way you want it. And I'm going to do that. We've clicked on this swatch, and then I'm going to double click here and type in 58595B. It will give me a gray, the gray that I want this one to be. Now I've set this color for my text. Next, the button. Let's bring in a button for testing. Click on add elements, grab a button, drag and drop it, and let go. This button has 2 color swatches applied to it by default. You see the blue and you see the white for the text. Let's go to styling. Now the blue, you immediately can recognize that over here. So whatever you want your button overlay to appear, this is the color that you will have to set. You have the option now to set a default color here for your button. But just remember, if you change it, it will affect your button. For this website, my button is going to display white. So click on the swatch, grab the selector all the way to the top left, and it will be white. Right? And you can see the dilemma we face now. Now we don't even see the button because the text of the button is also white. And that is the third swatch you have to pay attention to. This one all the way to the right. This is the button text. So if we click on this one, we grab the selector and drag it all the way to the bottom. There you see, it comes in. So these are the 3 swatches that are inherently linked to elements. And this white here is not only linked to your button, it's also linked to other things like your icon. So it's important that you make these decisions very carefully and that you remember what you did, so that in the future, if you bring in an element and the color is strange, you should know this is where you had made those changes. These 3 you should always leave alone and set them to specific colors that you will use in your site, like I did. I want the text for the button to be black, so I changed this one, button text. This one is element text. I used that gray. And this third from the left, that is your button icon colors. You are left with 5 colors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which you can change now, and you can set it so that if you need those colors in the future, you can just select it from here. I'm going to always leave this one on the far left black because often you need black. This one, you're not going to believe it, I'm going to put it on white because I always need a white. I know we've got white over here, but this is, I don't need all those colors, so I'm going to put it on white so the color doesn't distract me. Then this one over here, I'm going to change it to a dark purple. Click on it, double click on the code and type in 952880. But that's not the dark purple, that is the more pinkish purple. Click on the next one, double click in the code and type in 32358F. That's my darker purple. And these are the only colors that I will be working with that is different to the white and the gray and the black. Now we have set up our color palette that we can use. So if I bring in a new text element, it's going to apply this color. Let's do that, text. And then if I want to change it to a heading, I will triple click in here to select all the text, call it a heading. I will change the typography. And in the next tutorial, we will look at this. And then over here, if I click on the swatch, you will see our colors appear over here. So I can change the colors here. Now you understand how the color palette works. And if you ever were to purchase the Brizy Pro, you will see things become exponentially more interesting because you've got a lot of palettes to choose from. Let's get our page ready for the next tutorial where we will make our hero image. And to do that, I'm going to delete everything on this page. You can go to the block settings up here and click delete, or in the sidebar on the left, you can click on reorder blocks and the X next to the block, it will delete it as well. We save our hard work, Control S, Command S. And for practice, we're going to exit here at the bottom, back to WordPress. We are at our page and let's just click on dashboard. And now we are ready to begin building our page with Brizy in the second tutorial of level 2.